Good evening, New York City. Welcome to MSG PM. I'm Kazeem Famuyide, and I'm your host for tonight. After that crazy game, which we're going to get into much later. But first, the lovely Monica McNutt will be on the show later today, talking to Sarah Thomas, a history maker, the first ever female referee in Super Bowl history. We also got Anthony Beck, friend of the show, coming back to join us to talk about all the crazy free agency frenzy that's happened in New York City between the Jets and the Giants. But to talk about tonight's game and everything going on in the NBA in general, we got our guest, a friend of the show, one of my favorite people, Knicks legend, Latrell Sprewell. What's going on, partner? How you living?
I'm good, Cass. How are you?
I've been better. And I'm gonna tell you why. I just watched this Knicks game, and we're gonna get right into it because I don't want to waste no time. For the 15th time in a row, the New York Knicks have lost to the Philadelphia 76ers in controversial fashion. I mean, late foul calls, late buzzer beaters, overtime. This game had everything, and at the end of the day, the Knicks lose by 1 point. Spree, love to get your thoughts coming fresh out of the Garden off that game.
I mean, obviously, it was a competitive game. You just hate to lose a heartbreaker like that by 1 point, especially when you had a chance to win at the end. Randle got a great shot. Hated that foul call. I mean, it was a little push in the back, but that's why you got to turn around and try to find the guy when the ball goes up in the air. I mean, we had 5 guys under the basket. There's no way we obviously had the rebound, but, you get a little push in the back and put a guy on the free throw line. And you just got to, those are the little details you want to clean up, and I'm sure when they watch the film, it's something that they'll key in on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of mad at it because that game felt like one of the games I used to watch you in, low scoring, very aggressive, and to call it on that push under the hoop was incredible. But you mentioned it before, Julius Randle balled out.
I was thinking the same thing. It just seemed like a Miami Heat, New York's Knicks grinded out game in the 80s, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is Miami, New York all over again.
Of course, and it felt good. It felt vintage. It felt like I was watching the old Garden come back to life. But you mentioned it earlier, Julius Randle balled out again, another incredible game, and a big 3 to send it into overtime. Got the lucky Allen Houston-like shooter's bounce to fall in at the end of the game. What did you think about Julius tonight?
Oh, man, he did his thing, and then put that game into overtime. I'm just like, is he going to go in? It's bouncing around on the rim, like you said, like Allen shot back in the day. Once we got in overtime, I just felt like we had the momentum and that things were going our way. But I mean, Philly fought it out with us. I mean, it was a tough battle. Like you said, if you get that rebound, you probably win the game. It's just one of those things where you got to do the little things at the end to finish the game off. I mean, you're right there. So, and even with that happening, you still had a shot at making that last shot. I mean, he had a good look, got right where he wanted to, got a nice little elbow jumper. It just, was just halfway down and rolled out. And I felt like we had a lot of shots. Mitchell Robinson got a bunch of rebounds, a bunch of putbacks right under the basket, and it was right there. He's just like, man, you got to make those easy shots. We got the steal, the guy misses a layup, it goes off of Randle, they review that. I mean, you had so many little things that went against us, it seemed like, and you just hate to lose a tough game like that.
Those are the tough games, man. But the Knicks will be back in the Garden this Tuesday to take on the Washington Wizards in a game that they'll definitely need to win to keep those playoff pushes alive. Let's switch because the NBA isn't the only show in town, obviously. NCAA tournament going on right now. Your alma mater, Alabama, took on the local product, Iona Gales, around here. Love to get your thoughts on your boys, man. They're playing tomorrow against Maryland. How they looking for you?
They're looking good. I didn't get to see the game yesterday, but I did see them play in the SEC championship against LSU, and that game went down to the wire. It was a very hard-fought game, much like tonight's game with the Knicks played. So I'm looking forward to seeing them tomorrow. Hopefully they'll do well. But, I mean, the coach has done a great job with them in only his second year with the team. So it's just nice to see them get back to the tournament. They haven't won the SEC championship or SEC tournament since '91 when I played with Robert and other guys on that team. So it's been a while since they won the SEC championship. So it was nice to see them do that, and hopefully they'll get to the Sweet 16 and even further.
Now, Spree, I don't know how your brackets are looking like, but mine look like a checkerboard. It's just red dots everywhere. Just bracket bust, bracket bust, bracket bust. So you got Loyola Chicago, you got Oral Roberts, you got a bunch of Cinderellas this year, which you kind of felt that was coming just given the circumstances of the tournament. But I would just love to know your overall thoughts on the first weekend of the NCAA tournament.
I mean, it's been exciting. A bunch of upsets. I know, like you said, people's brackets are all over the place because of all the upsets, and that's what everybody loves about the tournament. You never know who's going to win. You never know who's going to get on a roll. So that's what makes the tournament so fun. But I mean, the Big Ten, I thought they were going to be one of the stronger conferences in the tournament this year, and they just seem to be getting upset left and right. So it's just one of those things where you can't really predict it. You fill out your bracket and hope for the best.
Yeah, anybody who says that they still have a perfect bracket or they have a method to their madness, I don't believe them. They're full of it because it's really anybody's guess every single year. So I'm going to do the same thing to you. Do you have a favorite in the Sweet 16 so far? Do you have a guess that you want to see take it all the way?
Well, obviously, I want to see my squad get in the Crimson Tide. Hopefully, if we can get in, I'm just pulling for us. It's been a while since we've even been to the Sweet 16, so I can't go against my squads. It's all Alabama Roll Tide for me.
I ain't mad at you for that, Spree. I know that's right. Big news coming out of the NBA. Shams tweeted it in the middle of this game as well. And, you know, some possible playoff implications for the New York Knicks. Lamelo Ball, front runner for Rookie of the Year, one of the most exciting young players in the NBA, out for the season with a fractured wrist. Now, the Charlotte Hornets are kind of in that 7 to 10 range where the Knicks are right now. What does this mean for the New York Knicks and for Charlotte and for the NBA? Because this kid has been exciting and had the Hornets playing some really good basketball.
Well, you never want to see a guy get hurt. And that play kind of reminded me of Patrick when he fell and broke his wrist against the Bucks. I forget who pushed him down, but it was a similar play. So you never want to see a guy get hurt, especially when he's playing well. He has a chance of being the Rookie of the Year. So you just feel bad for him because he was doing so well and they were playing well. But, I mean, as a Knicks fan, you obviously you don't want to see anybody get hurt. But if it helps us, go Knicks.
I know that's right. And not to keep the subject on injuries, but another seismic injury that has affected the Western Conference, of course, is LeBron James with a high ankle sprain. Look like he's going to be out for a little bit of a while. How does this kind of affect the Western Conference? Because it was going to be a dogfight already. And now you got LeBron sitting out for a couple of games at least. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've had that high ankle sprain, and that thing can linger on a lot longer than you think. So hopefully, treatment. He's going to get a bunch of treatment, though. And I don't really know how bad it is. I know when I had that same injury, it hurt and really bad. And like I said, it lasted longer than I thought it would. So he just got to, get the treatment every day. As far as the Lakers go, I think they'll still be there in the end. For me, they're the front runner in the West, especially when he gets back and he's healthy. I don't think it's going to prevent him from being LeBron that we all know and love. So it's just a matter of him getting back to where he's 100%.